I cast you into the pits of fire. You think you can fool me? I see you. We will meet again.
What's going on, guys? It's MurderInc here, back with another Reach Shadow Legends video, and today we're going to be talking about the new Fragment Fusion champion that is going to be coming out on Monday, September 6th. And we just got this news. We have a Barbarian faction legendary attack type Spirit Affinity champion, and honestly, it's probably one of the better Fragment Fusions we've seen in a very long time. So first thing we're going to do, break down the kit, then see where we can use this guy. So as we can see from the A1, Roric Wyrmbane, we have the Wormslayer Hammer. Attacks one enemy 2 times each hit, having a 40% chance of placing that stun debuff for 1 turn. Each hit will fill this champion's turn meter by 15% if the target is not under a stun debuff after the hit. So really cool A1, CC already with a decently high chance, unbooked being 40% there. And it even has a failsafe built into it where if it doesn't land, it will fill his turn meter, making sure he gets another turn very quickly. Moving into the A2, we have Dragon Rage. Attacks one enemy, has an 80 up to 100% chance when booked of decreasing the target's turn meter by 75%. If this skill fully depletes the target's turn meter, has an 80% chance up to 100 of placing a stun debuff on all other enemies for 1 turn. We see a 3-turn cooldown here, so this is also really cool. This gives you incredible AoE CC with that condition. However, that condition is going to be rather easy to meet as long as you make this guy fast enough. Moving on to the A3, we have Scalebreaker. Attacks one enemy, will ignore 50% of the target's defense. The passive effect will always use this skill instead of the default skill. When counterattacking, this skill will not be blocked. This skill will not be blocked by block active skill debuffs. Now this is really cool, and we've never seen anything like that, where a champion's going to opt out of using that A1, which is 50-50 on how you want to decide it. Having an A1 with the stun and turn meter fill is really strong on a counterattack. However, having a hard-hitting A3 ability could also have lots of potential. Moving on to this champion's passive, Titan's End, immune to stun debuffs, so really cool effect there. Deals 15% more damage to bosses and receives 15% less damage from them. So this gives a lot of added utility if you want to use this guy in PvE content. You can use him as a CC role champion to provide lots of support and utility for the waves, and once you get to the boss, now you have this added passive here, dealing more damage to bosses, receiving less damage from them, making him easier to gear overall. So I think he's definitely a solid Fragment Fusion event champion. Now I do have access to this guy on the test server, so I'll have a guide out pretty quickly as soon as I'm available to post that information. He does look really cool, as we can already see here. He's got a nice axe. He's got a really cool like dragon teeth hammer going on here. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with this based on the last fusions we've seen, whether it's been Fragment or traditional fusions. So I think they definitely did a really good job. This is going to help a lot of players here, and this is definitely going to be a safe champion to pursue if you do have the resources to get this guy. The only thing I really didn't like that I do have to comment on is going to be, although the A3 is going to be unique to where it's going to use this skill as a hard hitting damage dealing ability, you can kind of see where it says this skill will not be blocked by block active skill debuffs, how it's going to have counter synergy. It's going to offer a strong counter to the upcoming final mission reward of Ramantu, who does have the ability to block active skills. However, in my opinion, I would have rather had the A1 being used. Maybe they thought it was going to be too strong, so they kind of added something new and cool with that A3 passive effect, making always use that skill instead of using the chance to stun and fill the turn meter on the counterattack. I mean, just think about it for a second. That's a really strong ability. Now, if we're talking about bosses, I definitely get it. You cannot stun bosses, so having an A1 that deals extra damage is definitely going to be huge. Outside of that, the only thing to consider is going to be he is Spirit Affinity or Green Affinity. So with that being said, anytime this champion can weak hit, his value drops all the way down to 0. You hate to see it. I've said this many times, we do not like RNG. So if you want to get the most out of this champion, you definitely don't want to be facing any blue or magic affinity content here, because that can play a huge role. Now, how good is this guy going to be in arena? Well, you as the player have to consider how often you guys see magic or blue affinity champions in whatever arena setting you're in currently. If you notice a lot of them, this guy might not be as efficient here. If you don't see a lot of them, it could be efficient. One thing I really can't get into detail here, but is something to consider, is the A2 attacks one enemy. So based on how many other champions work, if you attack a red affinity champion, which is going to be strong affinity for Roric Wyrmbane's green affinity, you proc the chance to stun. Can that stun be a weak hit on a blue affinity champion considered on all other champions, since it's not going to be an actual hit? Now, based on the history of how this game works, the answer should be yes, it will always work. However, Plarium has done many interesting things when adding new champions to this game, adding new interactions, some things that people don't realize for months and months at a time. Of course, this is going to be fully revealed by the time the embargo is over for the test server, and I can make a full champion guide showing you exactly where this guy excels, with what champions and synergy, so on and so forth. But that is one thing to consider, and I hope Plarium did a good job with this, and they did make it so as soon as you hit that first target, it's going to stun everyone no matter what affinity they are. Now, of course, this isn't going to apply to the A1, as it is a hit and you have to hit the target to stun them, but the main focus, that's going to be the key talking point and pretty much key role of this guy. Unless he does a stupid amount of damage, then you would have to consider, is it worth running accuracy on this guy for the AoE stun? Unless he does a stupid amount of damage, then you're probably going to want to run down the hybrid road for this guy, building him with damage and accuracy on top of things to really get full value out of this champion. So overall, I'm definitely looking forward to Roric Wyrmbane. This is probably going to be the first Fragment Champion event that I'm going to participate in a long time. I know I did not go for Herndig, and every single champion since Herndig, I did get Magnar instead of Mother Sybil. But like I said, this is definitely going to be a champion I'm going to be pursuing, because I think his kit has a lot of potential, and I do have the upper advantage of having tested him already on the test servers. So there is that fact, of course, once again, but I'm excited to get that content out for you. I do believe he's going to be good for PvE and PvP content, and he's going to have very strong synergy with counterattack, or possibly the counterattack gear set. However, that's going to definitely be risky, because it's not 100% chance, and you never want to use a gear set just for a small chance of having the ability to counterattack. But who knows, maybe someone's going to figure out a really cool strategy for a Doom Tower boss, for Doom Tower waves, something using Roric in a counterattack set, because it's a set we haven't seen quite often in pretty much any content that I can think of. Alright guys, that's the new Legendary Champion Fragment, upcoming once again on Monday, September 6th. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys hyped for him? Are you going to be pursuing him? Are you going to easily skip this guy? Let me know your feedback. What are your thoughts on this champion? What do you like? What do you dislike? Is it the same as what I was saying? I'm interested to hear, so definitely leave a comment and let me know. As always guys, thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my next upcoming video, and I will see you all in that upload.